headquarters, 11 Mahatma Gandhi Street, off Lord Lugard, Abuja. The facts of the matter. It gives us great pleasure to address you today on the developments within our great party, the new Nigeria Peoples Party. This party was registered in the year 2002. Nothing much was heard about the party. As a matter of fact, majority of Nigerians did not know anything about the party NNPP. However, 28th February 2022, the TNM, the national movement, entered into discussions with the party, and by the 1st of March that same year, the two groups started a new journey in preparation for the 2023 general elections. As at the time this new journey started, the NNPP had no single person in any elective position or appointment in government. The only person who won election on the platform of the party in the 2019 elections was in Bauchi State and had defected to the PDP. For this reason, the leaders of the party, as at the time the TNM came to join them, wanted to escape the hammers of the Independent National Electoral Commission by winning some seats in the 2023 general elections. Like I said, this press conference is to set the record straight. As a prelude to March 1st, 2022, new journey, the then National Executive Committee of the party met on the 28th of February 2023, where all the organs of the party, according to the Constitution, that is the National Convention, the Board of Trustees, the National Executive Committee, and the National Working Committee, charged with the responsibilities of running the day-to-day activities of the party, were all dissolved in the presence of INEC officials. As a matter of fact, there was no board in place, and there was no proper National Working Committee. The party was being run by an imaginary National Working Committee of the then National Secretary, Dr. Gilbert Major Agbo, and National Chairman, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, who was based and is still based in Lagos. The National Secretary, Gilbert Agbo Major, was all in all doing everything in Abuja. Even, we are told, inserting the signature of the National Chairman, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, into documents because the chairman was in Lagos. That was the structure the TNM met on ground. The new journey. When we started this new journey on March the 1st, 2022, with the inauguration of the Caretaker Committee at an occasion witnessed by officials from INEC, the then National Chairman, Chief Boniface Aniebonam, said he was tired and wanted to go and rest. The elders and leaders of the party, as a mark of respect, persuaded him to accept the position of a yet-to-be-constituted Board of Trustees. The position of Chairman of the yet-to-be-constituted Board of Trustees. While another elder of the party, Elder Buba Galadima, was named the Secretary, with the hope that when the Board of Trustees was properly constituted, these two positions would be made official when members of the new board met to elect their leaders. Because of the pressure of the last elections, the party has not properly, to date, constituted the Board of Trustees, talk less of the board holding a meeting and taking decisions on anything. Where we are now. During the last election, it was discovered that some of our state ESCOs engaged in anti-party activities. A case is that of the erstwhile state chairman of Ogun, who went on radio to announce that the NNPP had stepped down for the candidate of another party. When there was nothing like that, there was no such agreement. We had a case of another chairman, state chairman, after the March 11th election, who went on Facebook and congratulated himself for delivering his word for another party. We had many cases like that from the states. This prompted the decision of the National Working Committee to commence disciplinary and fact-finding processes against some of the erring state ESCOs. In line with our constitution, on April the 27th of this year, 2023, and July the 28th of this year, about 10 states were asked with the ESCOs dissolved right from the states to the local government down to the wards. Later, some of the chairmen were suspended. However, we noticed a twist in that the former BOT chairman started issuing letters reinstating those that had been suspended or expelled. A power he does not have, or he did not have under the Constitution. Efforts were made to make him see reasons, why this is not or was not acceptable. Nobody is above the law, nobody above the Constitution, and definitely nobody above the party. He continued in these unwholesome acts, and we as members of the National Working Committee visited him on many occasions, or should I say several occasions, to persuade him to desist, but he continued. The National Working Committee was left with no choice but to invoke the law and our Constitution on him. During the meeting of the National Working Committee on August the 24th, both the former BOT chairman and the erstwhile National Publicity Secretary, Dr. Major Agbo, were suspended for 3 months pending investigations into allegations against them. In actual fact, Major Agbo was also at the meeting right here in this room where we are at. On the 5th of August 2023, we wrote INEC informing the body of our scheduled National Executive Committee meeting for the 29th of August, yesterday, in line with the Electoral Act, which says you must give at least 21 days notice to INEC for a meeting of such nature, where election into party offices are concerned. It is also the practice that in every correspondence between a political party and INEC, only the national chairman and the national secretary can sign such correspondence. As stated in our letter to INEC, the NNPP had its NEC meeting yesterday, Tuesday the 29th of August 2023. In attendance were all members of the National Working Committee, except the now expelled National Publicity Secretary, Gilbert Major Agbo. All the 37 state chairmen, our governor, senator, and House of Representatives, Speaker of Kano State, and other persons that were meant to be members of the NEC. Is it not funny, therefore, that people who were suspended or expelled would gather in some corner of Lagos in Apapa and claim to have suspended Engineer Kwankwasa and also dissolved the National Working Committee? The jokers, and that's what they are, appointed a caretaker committee, so they say, made up of those same people that had ceased to be members of the party. Was INEC at their meeting? Did they write INEC? Who and who signed the letter if they wrote INEC? Is it not laughable that the same Major Agbo who announced the suspension and expulsion of these people is now sitting down to say that they are his secretary and what have you? Only in Nigeria. It is just unfortunate that some people have reduced politics and party administration to a huge joke. The fact that one person will sit somewhere and arrogate certain powers to himself is not permissible in a democracy. We are using this medium, therefore, to assure our supporters all over the country that there is no substance to the story. His Excellency Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso remains a member of the party. He is not suspended, and to all intents and purposes, for the time being, he is the face of the NNPP. We don't need to run away from that. My brother from the AIT says it started during the campaign and election. I'm not so sure about that. You say that monopoly by Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And then you spoke about the reasons for the resignation of the former Professor Alkali, the former national chairman. Basically, I wouldn't say there is a monopoly. If there were a monopoly, Kwanwkaso would have his person as BOT chairman, the publicity secretary, the national secretary, possibly the most powerful position under the constitution of the party, would not all have come from what you are now terming the old NNPP. Now it is politics. And you see, we shouldn't be unfair to ourselves. Politics is about numbers. It's about the people you have. If those who are followers of Rabiu Kwankwaso have populated the party, and you are having congresses and a convention, and they are in an overwhelming majority, are you saying they shouldn't perform their work and they shouldn't take up positions legally and constitutionally? The answer is surely no. I don't think we should be sentimental in this matter. That is what has led Nigeria to where it is. If majority of the members of the party now either come from TNM or Kwankwasiya movement or are independent, then that is the case. It's a political party. You don't just share things out. It's not a cake to be shared. We're trying to work together to build something for the people of the country. Now, regarding the resignation of Professor Alkali, I must admit that since he resigned, I haven't even had the opportunity to meet with him to discuss. But at that time, he said he was resigning for personal reasons. I can't go to a grown man who is much older than I am and say, I want to know the reason why you resigned and everything. And I'm sure maybe some members of the working committee who are closer to him might know. But definitely, there was we shouldn't have any insinuations. There was no problem. No one asked for his resignation. And it happens at times. You lead a team to an election and you feel that you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve. You might, okay. Some will say, okay, let's go the next round. Some will say, look, I'm done. Let's try someone else. So I think that is what we should look at. My brother, Mr. Ashiru, says that he asks a pertinent question. Where is the interest of Nigeria in all this? All I can say is I can speak for myself or for the people who remain in the National Working Committee and the Executive Committee of this party. We believe and we feel in our heart of hearts that we're working towards the interests of a better future and more brighter future for this country. We believe we're doing this. I thank God that at least we have one place to showcase, and you can see what is happening in Kano at the moment. One of us is there working. And I'm sure with time you will see the contributions of our people at the National Assembly as well. Therein lies the interest that we're trying to protect. Unfortunately, and that goes to the second part of Mr. Ashiru's question, the foundational problem was there. We met people in this party. We came to an agreement. We came into the party. And it would seem that some of them, not all of them, please don't misquote me, some people were not, to quote Dr. Boniface Aniebonam himself, he said, some of these people, Johnson, some of my people are transactional politicians. That's what he said. He was the one, the chairman was alluding to it when he introduced. He was the one that called some of us and said, National Working Committee, you are dormant. Begin to restructure this party after the elections. Are you there when a chairman took so? He said all sorts of things. And we started the work, and we're surprised that he now turned around and started single-handedly writing letters outside the party. Ultra vires any powers. Even the board of trustees as a whole does not have the power to do that. Under our constitution, it is an advisory board. Wrote letters outside the party to say his National Working Committee people were deceitful, to say that he was reversing decisions, not just of the Working Committee, but of the National Executive Committee. It's not done. But yet, some Nigerians are being sentimental. You say to me, why? He's one of the founders of the party. That will not work with us. We are younger members. This is the secretary. My friend from Radio Nigeria says you've defected.
Go ahead.
They dissolved all organs. And I want the press to put it out there. The lame excuse given by those renegades in Apapa was that a board of trustees meeting held. There's always been a board. It's all a lie. We can call NEC to bring out the minutes. All organs were dissolved. Then a caretaker put in place, and the caretaker midwifed the process when we came in, from ward to local government, to state, to zone, and then the national. Why is it that it is just 2-3 days ago that Major Agbo, who you are sitting in his spot, or that's where he sits all the time, working committee, that Major Agbo realizes that there was a board still there. It's a joke, it's a farce. And basically I think, and I'm pleading with the press, that a question, you're asking me questions, I'm asking you to ask them. Now, how do you go within 3 days from complaining that your suspension was wrong, you understand, to saying that, oh, I'm now acting chairman? What's the magic that happened? Did you appeal your suspension? Either within the party? Did you go to court? You see, the press in Nigeria, we need you. People cannot just sit down somewhere. If I sit down and say the three of us, Mr. Ashiru, you are with us, we are suspending Unduka Ogbabena from the board of Arise. You will ask me that, what rights do you have? The fact that you're a staff, can you just suspend him? But when it comes to politics, maybe it's because we want to sell stories or whatever. Hey, faction. Hey, I told someone on the news yesterday, we are not a faction, we are the NNPP. That is it. They are the ones that have gone to form something.
Sorry, I just needed to quickly react to the allegation
that
the leader of the party,
yes,
was involved in
anti-party, yes. That again, thank you very much. That again is another joke, and it was started by the expelled member Ogini from Ogun State, the chairman, because he was caught red-handed on tape and everything and on radio. And then he said, oh, the person that has been doing anti-party is Kwankwkaso because he met with the president of the country. There is nothing wrong, as we all know, I know everyone here is experienced, with a government a party in power or government in power saying that they want to have a government of national unity. As a responsible party and national leaders of the party, you listen to them. Every time, and I don't think they've had more than 3 meetings if I can recall, every time that Senator Kwankwkaso has been invited either to France before the swearing-in or to the villa twice after the swearing-in, he has taken permission from the National Caucus. He's come back to say this is what they said, that's that. And we all know as Nigerians that there was no consensus. If not, maybe Agbo wouldn't have left office. Maybe he would have been Minister for Information. There was no consensus. Nothing happened. So, and the one before the election, sir, there are 3 instances they're saying. Peter Obi never met with Kwankwkaso to discuss it. There was 3 people on our side, 3 on their side. Myself, I was privileged to be there with Buba Galadima and someone else. Donyo Okukpe was still in Labour then. Senator, this man that founded ABGA or whatever. Victor Ume. And someone else. And then, of course, Abure, my friend, national chairman. They were the 3. It was 3-3. The presidential candidates themselves were not at the meeting. And of course, you all know on social media, Peter and Kwankwkaso, and it didn't work. So where is the anti-party? The last one being that the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, visited him at home. Is there anything wrong with that? If you work for Arise, can Chamberlain from Channels visit you at home? Of course he can. It's different from a person going on air and saying, oh, my governorship candidate, we've jettisoned him, we're supporting the one of this party. Totally different. And you see, my friend, the last one from Radio Nigeria, you see the sections that were
amended.
No, not amended, suspended. Because the NEC, if you look at our constitution, the NEC has the power to suspend any article in that constitution. The sections that were suspended have nothing to do with the BOT or former BOT chairman. It has to do with some of our procedures and some of the things that we see. You know that we also set up a constitutional review committee yesterday. It was part of it that there are some teething problems. You see, the speed with which the coming together happened vis-a-vis the election meant that there are some, not gray areas, there are some areas in the Constitution that need fine-tuning and we need to erase some lacuna in the Constitution. And that is why that was set up. and that will be done now. So I think we've handled those three questions, sir. The issue of the secretary has handled itself. I'm not sure if...
I would have told you. I would have told you.
Which one?
Will you repeat?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, I didn't write that down. We will do our best. In politics, it is all about bringing in more people. It is all about bringing in more people. I tell you, the TNM or Kwankwasa or Rabiu Kwankwaso, no one is about hijacking anything. We all know that we even need to strengthen the base of this party. We need to bring in more people. We need to marry more organizations, more groups, so that we have a more robust party to deliver what we believe is the best for Nigerians in our manifesto. So in that line, sir, we are always open for reconciliation. The problem is when you try to revamp, when you try to reposition, it's like anti-corruption war. Corruption will fight back. That is what you are seeing. That is what you are seeing. And we will still, I cannot speak on behalf of all I'm just the auditor. They put me at the back of the building. You understand? I don't have an office in front here. I can't speak for the National Working Committee in that sense, or the National Executive. It's become a National Executive matter. I can't speak for them, but I know that with the leaders we have, they will always be open for reconciliation, where you see genuine moves for reconciliation. The Constitution, because I don't know what Constitution they are using, so I may as well say it here to tell them that there's hope for them. The Constitution allows them to reapply. I've read it in and out. It allows them to reapply, and I'm sure our leaders will look at it because it's not something personal. Major Agbo is a friend. The chairman board of trustees has a nickname that he gave me, and that's what they call me in the party now. Yeah, he calls me the boy is good. When this problem started, we spoke. I said, Chairman, the boy is good. He said, you are not good. I said, okay.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Commitment and contribution that we all agreed that they gave the National Working Committee power to restructure the party. Normally, if you want to restructure a party, definitely you must set off a disciplinary committee, which we did. And we are very careful. We did everything within the legal existence of our party and the constitutions of our party, which we happen to be very, very careful. We did everything within the constitution, and we came out with a result. That's the disciplinary committee came up with a result that we found actually some state chairmen, which they are deeply found with anti-party activities during the election. I'm just giving you the brief this thing that resulted to their suspension. And you are aware some of them went to court, and actually even from the court they didn't actually succeed. So they now gang off a clique. Very few of them. We have about 36 chairmen. I think about 7 or 8 of them now form a clique, which are already, as far as I'm concerned, we can no longer call them a state chairman because they have already expelled from the party. And some of the journalists, maybe, I don't know you are aware or not, they called a meeting in Lagos to invite me to attend the meeting together with Dr. Boniface. And I sent a message that I don't have reason, or I don't need to sit down with the SPL chairman. So as a national chairman, I only deal with my legal chairman, not with the SPL one. So that was the reason why I wouldn't attend the Lagos meeting. So these are the few things, and there are a lot of activities which will come out in our communique now, and they actually form a group, and you are all aware that we had our NEC meeting yesterday, which we actually adopted the decision of the National Working Committee, and just to our surprise that we had a meeting yesterday that to the extent that they went on still, I can still call still the party activities, because this non-member of our party, they went ahead announcing that they suspend our presidential candidate. So I don't know how this thing comes when we know that these are not even members of our party have the guts to go ahead and announce that they are suspending not even an ordinary member, but to the extent our presidential candidate. So in this regard, that is why we today called a press conference to brief the entire media for you to know the true picture. Although even if I didn't say it, you are all aware. Yesterday someone was calling me and asking me that NNPP is true. I don't know. I said that actually I don't know. We only know of NNPP, and NNPP is one. So I don't actually know either we have a function or whatever. These are just jokers that are not even in our party. So that is why we call you press men to let you know. Despite I said that you knew everything already, but I want you to know and have the clear picture this afternoon also.